This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has said his country has completed the development of its first military spy satellite and ordered officials to proceed with a planned launch. According to state media, Kim, who was visiting the country's National Aerospace Development Administration, said developing reconnaissance capabilities was a priority to counter threats from the United States and South Korea, and that several satellites were necessary to firmly establish an intelligence gathering capability, the state's KCNA news agency reported on Wednesday. Kim urged the deployment of the satellite as scheduled, but did not elaborate on the launch date. In December, North Korea conducted what it called an important final phase test for a spy satellite and said it would complete preparations for the launch by April. In quote, securing real-time information about the hostile forces' military scenario is the most important task, Kim said. Kim also accused the US and South Korea of expanding hostile military campaigns in the name of bolstering their alliance and claimed the US was trying to turn South Korea into an advanced base for aggression and an arsenal for war by deploying military assets like aircraft carriers and nuclear-capable bombers in the region. South Korea might extend its support for Ukraine beyond humanitarian and economic aid if it comes under a large-scale civilian attack, President Yoon Suk-yeol said, signaling a shift in his stance against arming Ukraine for the first time. In an interview with newsmen ahead of his state visit to the US next week, Yoon said his government has been exploring how to help defend and rebuild Ukraine, just as South Korea received international assistance during the 1950-1953 Korean War. It was the first time that Seoul suggested a willingness to provide weapons to Ukraine more than a year after ruling out the possibility of later aid. A key US ally and major producer of artillery ammunition, South Korea has so far tried to avoid antagonizing Russia due to its companies operating there and Moscow's influence over North Korea, despite mounting pressure from Western countries for weapon supply. Yoon is scheduled to visit Washington next week for a summit with US President Joe Biden to mark the 70th anniversary of the two countries' alliance. India is on its way to become the world's most populous country, overtaking China with almost 3 million more people in the middle of this year, data released on Wednesday by the United Nations showed. The demographic data from the United Nations Population Fund's Unfpa State of World Population Report 2023 estimates India's population at 1,428.6 million or 1.4286 billion against 1.4257 billion for China. The United States is a distant third with an estimated population of 340 million, the data showed. The data reflects information available as of February 2023, the report said. Population experts using previous data from the UN have projected India would go past China this month, but the latest report from the global body did not specify a date for when the change would take place. UN population officials have said it was not possible to specify a date due to uncertainty about the data coming out of India and China, especially since India's last census was conducted in 2011 and the next one, due in 2021, has been delayed due to pandemic. Although India and China will account for more than one-third of the estimated global population of 8.045 billion, the population growth in both Asian giants has been slowing at a much faster pace in China than in India. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has denounced the violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity after facing criticism for remarks he made over the weekend about Russia's invasion of the country. The left-wing leader, however, did double down on his call for mediation in the conflict, which began in February 2022. In quote, "While my government condemns the violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity, we advocate a negotiated political solution to the conflict," Lula said in a speech following his meeting with Romanian President Klaus Iohannis. The Brazilian leader explained that he expressed concern to Iohannis over the global consequences of the war in terms of food and energy security, especially in the poorest regions of the planet. Brazil has positioned itself as an advocate for peace amid the war in Ukraine, which has injured or killed as many as 22,000 209 civilians by March 20th, the United Nations has confirmed, though it notes the real number may be considerably higher. But over the weekend, Lula inflamed international relations with remarks that appeared to blame Ukraine for its part in the war, saying it was caused by decisions made by two countries. He also criticized the United States and Europe for contributing to the hostilities by supplying Ukraine with weapons. Lula explained that he hoped to build a group of countries that have nothing to do with war, that don't want war, to lead negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. China is increasing its Antarctic footprint, according to new satellite imagery collected by a Washington-based think tank that shows construction has resumed for the first time since 2018 on the country's fifth station in the southern polar region. Beijing has sought to develop new shipping routes in the Arctic and expand its research in Antarctica, but Western governments worry its increasing presence in the polar regions could provide the People's Liberation Army (PLA) with better surveillance capabilities. The new station on Inexpressible Island near the Ross Sea is expected to include an observatory with a satellite ground station and should help China fill in a major gap in its ability to access the continent, the Center for Strategic and International Studies (CSIS) said in the report. CSIS used satellite images taken in January to identify new support facilities, temporary buildings, a helicopter pad, and foundations for a larger main building at the 5,000 square meter station. It estimated that construction could be done by 2024. The station is well positioned to collect signals intelligence over Australia and New Zealand and telemetry data on rockets launched from Australia's new Unfpa Center, it said. Once finished, the station is expected to include a wharf for China's Zhejiang icebreaker ships. That is the size of top accurate global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy midweek.